This is Crypto Keo giving you news, updates, and ways that you can keep and make more cryptocurrency. Um, at this time, I'm a bit sick, and I don't want to mess up you guys' ears by coughing while I'm having a conversation with you guys. So I'm just gonna put, I've done videos of him before, and just kind of to inform you on that sometimes the market, as much as we want to believe that, and I wanted to believe that decentralized means that no one manipulates it. Sometimes it means that the money is the one who has the money is the one that kind of makes the price. So let me see if I could start here.
For the last few weeks? Well, the answer might actually shock you. You see, take a look at this. This is the COT report, or the Commitment of Traders report, which comes directly from the CBOE, the Chicago Board of Exchange. So what you're seeing here is exactly what the big and small traders and the financial institutions and hedge funds are doing on Bitcoin. What you're seeing is exactly what positions they're taking and how they're committing their money to Bitcoin. And this makes this report very important. And I'm going to show you how we interpret this particular report, because many people interpret it wrong. So take a look at this, and you'll see here in red are the non-commercials, the non-commercial traders, also called the large speculators as well. Now over here are the commercials. Now the commercials are also sometimes referred to as the smart money, or the insiders. And over here in the purple, these are the small speculators. Okay, so we don't really pay attention to what's going on over here on the right, but over here we want to pay attention to, and I'm going to show you how we interpret this. Now, according to Investopedia, a good definition of non-commercial trader is this. It says that the category of non-commercial trader includes individual investors, hedge funds, and some large financial institutions. If non-commercial traders, for example, speculators, if they have a substantial number of short positions, it can be inferred that this group of investors believes that the price of the underlying asset is going to decrease. Okay? Now, one particular mistake that almost everybody makes, including many books and websites online, is they keep referring to the non-commercial trader as the smart money. Or they keep saying that the non-commercial trader are the most important piece of information in the COT report. In other words, the mistake which many people seem to make is they seem to think that this is the most important bit of information in the COT report. It's not. If anything, these guys here, the non-commercials, the hedge funds, they are on the wrong side of the market, especially when the market reverses and turns. You see, here's what's going on. The non-commercials, the hedge funds, they are usually trading trends. Now, there's nothing wrong with trading trends. The problem is this, that they may be good at trading trends, but they're absolutely terrible when it comes to reversals. You see, what they're really bad at, the non-commercials, is when something like this happens. Okay? So they keep thinking the trend is just going to continue. So when the market suddenly turns against them, they're absolutely terrible in those situations. And those are the people we least want to follow. The same thing applies in reverse. So right now, they're thinking that the trend in Bitcoin is still to the downside. So the non-commercials, they would trade the trend on the downside as Bitcoin has been trending lower. But here's the problem. When the trend reverses, as a trend usually does eventually reverse, they're absolutely terrible when it comes to those trend reversals. In fact, let's take a look and I'll show it to you. Here is the most recent Bitcoin COT report. Again, this is the Commitment of Traders report from the Chicago Board of Exchange. And let's take a look exactly what the non-commercials, the hedge funds and the banks are doing here. And look at that. You will see that while they have 3,193 long contracts on Bitcoin, that they have over 5,000 short contracts here on Bitcoin. So if you subtract one from the other, this means the non-commercials, the hedge funds, they are net short on Bitcoin. That, of course, would have been a disaster for them. And by the way, in case you're thinking, well, hang on a second, aren't these hedge funds supposed to be smart? Aren't they supposed to be on the right side of the market? Take a look at this. This is the front cover of Bloomberg Business Week magazine a few years ago. And guys, let me say this is absolutely true. This is actually the front cover they published about hedge funds. And here's what they're saying. You'll see that they're saying that the perception of hedge funds by most people is shown to you by this green phallus they've drawn here. So most people think that hedge funds must be this amazingly smart institutions and that they're outperforming the market. Their reality is actually this drooping phallus they've drawn here, as you can see. In fact, most hedge funds are underperforming the market. They're doing worse than the market. And that front cover speaks volumes about hedge funds, guys. And that's why I'm bringing this to your attention. You see, the books and the websites that say that non-commercials are the people we should be paying attention to, wrong, wrong, and wrong again. These guys have been on the wrong side of Bitcoin for weeks. And not only that, you'll see that, in fact, they've realized their mistake. Take a look, for example, at this orange section here. This orange section is telling you what they're doing recently, what they've changed from the last report. Changes in commitments from April 17th. And you can see that they have actually reduced their short exposure, but not by much. Okay, but nonetheless, some of these people are realizing they're making mistakes here. Now, as an example, let me show you what they're doing right now on the euro currency. Now, in case you're not aware, the euro currency has been plunging. It's been getting slaughtered for the last few weeks. In fact, this is something we've been expecting for many weeks in our own Leading Trader Premium membership. We've been saying for weeks, and in fact months now, that this particular pattern, this particular market is going to drop. And the reason why we've been saying it is because we've been paying attention to the commercials. Take a look. So let's compare what the non-commercials are doing with the commercials, okay? Now, the non-commercials, the hedge funds, take a look at the long contracts. So they are 211,000 contracts long on euro, whereas only 86,000 short. So that means they're net long. They've been net bullish on the euro. Now let's compare that with the commercials, the real smart money here. The commercials, they are, just compare the short versus longs. So you can see 219 long positions versus 369,000 short positions. So if you subtract one from the other, these guys are net short, and they have been net short for a very long time. All right. So these guys over here, the commercials, are the people we pay attention to, not the hedge funds, which are usually on the wrong side of the market. All right, especially at reversals, especially when the market turns. And if you take a look over here, these guys, the hedge funds, the poor schmucks, I mean, these guys now realize that they've made a mistake, and now you can see they're reducing their long exposure. You can see minus 22,000. They've reduced their long exposure to the euro from last week. So going back to our Bitcoin COT report here, again, remember that the COT report does not provide any commercial data for Bitcoin, which is a bit of a shame. But again, even looking at what non-commercials are doing here and looking at the price of Bitcoin, we can have a pretty good guess at what the smart money is doing right now. And
so there you have it. This is Crypto Keo giving you news, updates, and ways to make and keep your Bitcoin. Again, I will definitely see you in the next video.